Good morning, everybody. Just want to do a few problems here to help you learn about dividing polynomials. Okay. There's two ways that we do division with polynomials. The first way is long division, and it's just like you would do long division if you were to divide 100 by 7 or something like that. Okay, we're going to use the same kind of process. And then there's a synthetic division, which I'm sure you're going to like a lot better. Kind of hard to explain it, comparing it to anything else, but you'll see it here in just a little bit. All right, let's get started. Let's do, we're working with Pearson Form G of Lesson 8-5. We're going to start in this first section. It says divide using long division and check your answers. I'm not going to worry so much about checking my answers right now, but let's go through the long division. All right, number 1 is x cubed minus 13x squared plus 7x minus 48. Divided by x squared plus 3. All right. The first thing I need to make sure of is that I have terms for each power, starting with the lowest and going down. So I have a 3, I have a 2, I have a 1, I have a 0. So I've got enough. Everything's in order. There's nothing I need to fill in. Let's say it went x cubed and the next one was 7x. I would need to put a 0x in for the, or 0x squared in there, just as a place filler. Now, I've got everything, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, we're doing long division. I'm going to start out. I'm going to write my divisor on the outside, x squared plus 3 divided into x cubed minus 13x squared plus 7x minus 48. All right, I'm going to work with the first terms, okay? And I'm going to take it, I'm going to divide x cubed by x squared. So come over here, x cubed divided by x squared. And remember, when I divide, I subtract the exponent from the numerator minus the exponent from the denominator. So I end up with x. Right? Okay, so I have x, and so I'm going to come over here under this column with the x's, and I'm going to put that right above it. Okay? And now I'm going to multiply this out. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times 3 is plus 3x. Okay? And I'm going to make sure I'm done. I'm going to subtract. So when I subtract, remember, I'm going to add and change the signs. Okay? So x cubed plus negative x cubed gives me 0. 7x plus negative 3x gives me 4x. And then I'm going to bring everything down. Okay, so this was like having a 0 here. So negative 13x squared minus 0 is negative 13x squared plus 4x. Okie doke. Now I'm going to take negative 13x squared. Excuse me. And I'm going to bring down my negative 48. All right. Again, we're going to go with my first terms. Okay. So I have negative 13x squared divided by x squared. My x squared is going to reduce out, so I'm left with negative 13. So minus 13, okay? So negative 13 times x squared is negative 13x squared. Negative 13 times 3 is going to be negative 39. And I'm going to subtract that. I'll change that into a positive and change my signs. Negative 13x squared plus 13x squared is 0. I'm going to bring down my 4x. And then negative 48 plus 39 is minus 9. That's my remainder. All right. So this is remainder 4x minus 9. Actually, let me take that. Oops. There's my answer. Okay. Let's do one more of those. Make sure that we've kind of got the process down, okay? Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is 2x squared plus x minus 7 divided by x minus 5. Okay? So, x minus 5 divided into 2x squared plus x minus 7. All right, again, we're going to use the first terms, okay? So, 2x squared divided by x will be 2x. Okay, we're going to put that above the 2x column. Remember, we want to keep everything in line, okay? It just helps everything flow better. It keeps us straight, okay? So it doesn't go above the 2x column. It goes above the x column. I mean, the 2x squared. It goes above the x column. But then whenever I multiply it back together, I have to put them in the right columns as well. Okay, so 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Okay, and I'm going to subtract that. But then again, we're going to change this to a positive, which means I'm going to change my signs. Let me do that in a different color just to help you see that. I change my negative to a positive and change my signs. Okay, now negative 2x squared, or 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. And then we have x plus 10x, which gives us 11x. I'm going to bring down my negative 7. And now I'm going to, let's get a different color. There we go. I'm going to use x and the 11x. So 11x divided by x is 11, positive 11. So that gives me 11x. 11 times negative 5 is negative 55. Going to subtract that. Change my signs. 11x minus 11x is 0. Negative 7 plus 55 will be 48. So 2x squared plus x minus 7 divided by x minus 5 is 2x plus 11 with a remainder of 48. All right. So for homework, do problems 3 and 5 using long division. All right. The next section says to determine whether each binomial is a factor. Now, if we're looking for a factor, that means when I do my division, I have to come out with a remainder of 0. Okay, so on 7, 8, 9, and 10, we're going to use the divisor that they give us to figure out if we end up with a remainder of 0. Okay? Now, we're going to use something called the remainder theorem. And the remainder theorem tells me that if I take x cubed plus 3x squared minus 10x minus 24, and I divide it by x plus 4, I can take my divisor, x plus 4, and this works for if x is has a power of 1 only. Okay, it has to be if we're using a linear binomial or linear expression. Okay, I'm going to take my linear expression, then my divisor, I'm going to set it equal to 0, and I'm going to get x is equal to negative 4. Okay, solve for x. I'm going to take this x equals negative 4, and I'm going to plug it in to every place that I have an x. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do x cubed plus 3x squared minus 10 times x minus 24. And I'm going to plug the x equals negative 4. So negative 4 into all of these spots. Okay? All right. Negative 4 cubed. So negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Times negative 4 gives me negative 64. Okay? All right. Next term. 3 times negative 4 squared. Negative 4 squared is positive 16. Times 3 is positive 48. Okay? All right. Then I've got next term, negative 10 times negative 4 is plus 40. And then I've got minus 24. Okay. So let's figure this out. I've got negative 64 and 48. So I'm going to work through this because I don't have a calculator with me. So negative 64 plus 48 is 14. That's 6. And 5 would be 1. So that's negative 16. Plus 48 will be 48 minus 6 is 2. So that's 32. Plus 40, 32 plus 40 is 72, and then minus 24 is 12 is 8, and 6 is 4. So we end up with a remainder of 48. Okay, if I have a remainder, any remainder, positive or negative, whether it's a single number or it's a large equation, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. If I have a remainder, anything other than 0, it is not a factor. Alrighty. Alright, let's look at number 8. Again, x cubed plus 3x squared minus 10x minus 24. We want to know, is x minus 3 a factor? Again, we're going to take my divisor, the x minus 3. Remember, this only works if it's linear. That means if this has a power of 1, which it does. So set that equal to 0, so x equals 3. Okay. Plug 3 in for my equation up here. Okay, for my x's. So 3 cubed plus 3 times 3 squared minus 10 times 3 minus 24. All right. So we've got 3 cubed. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. Okay. And then 3 times 3 squared. So 3 squared is 9 times 3 again is 27. Minus 30. Because 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. Minus 24. All right. 27 plus 27 is 54. Negative 30 minus 24 is negative 54. So 54 minus 54 is 0. So I have a remainder of 0. So yes. 3 minus, or x minus 3 is a factor of x cubed plus 3x squared minus 10x minus 24. Oops. Ran out of room. All right. So, homework. You will do problems 9 and 10 in that section for homework. Alrighty. Sorry, my nose is all stuffed up this morning. Okay. Synthetic division. Okay. You're going to like synthetic division, and now you're going to be going, why did we do long division? Okay, I have, let's look at number 11. Number 11 is x cubed minus 8x squared plus 17x minus 10 divided by, let's make that a little bit better, x minus 5. Okay? Again, I need to make sure that everything's filled in. Okay? So I've got power of 3, power of 2, power of 1, power of 0. We've got everything. We don't have any holes that we have to fill in. So let's get started now. Let me change my colors here. Okay. this time, instead of working with our first terms of our divisor and our quotient, I want to work with just the coefficients and this whatever x is equal to. Okay? So, I'm going to start with writing down the coefficients of the number I'm dividing. Okay? So, x cubed has a coefficient of 1. Okay? Remember, if there's not a number in front of the variable, it's 1. All right. Negative 8 squared. So, my coefficient is negative 8. 17x, my coefficient is 17. And then we have negative 10. Make sure, put a little space between your numbers so they don't all run together so that you don't get confused. Okay? Now, we're going to divide by, and I'm going to put this little box out here. Okay? This is how we show it with synthetic division. Okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take my x minus 5, set it equal to 0, and I get x is equal to positive 5. So I'm going to divide by positive 5. Okay? All right, the process. And I'm going to do this in colors so you can see this. I'm going to start by putting a 0 underneath my first number in my line, okay? My underneath my 1. I'm going to add these together, okay? 1 plus 0 is 1. Now, I'm going to multiply 5 times 1, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay. Now I'm going to add negative 8 plus 5 gives me negative 3. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Now, I'm going to go 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And I'm going to add those together. 17 plus negative 15 is 2. Okay. Now I'm going to multiply 5 times 2. I'm going to put it right here. So 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to add them together. So negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Okay? Now, I'm going to take, and I'm going to start from this direction. This is my remainder. Oops, let me do this in a different color. This is my remainder. This is my x column. This is my x. No. That's my remainder. This is my constant column. This is my x. This is my x squared. Sorry. Alrighty. Now I'm going to write down my divisor, or my final product, or quotient. So, x cubed minus 8x squared plus 17x minus 10 divided by x minus 5 is x squared plus or minus negative 3 times x is negative 3x. 2 times the constant is 1, so plus 2. And I have no remainder. Alright. Let's go through and do another one of those. Let's do a long one. Let's do number 18. number 18. We have 2x to the 4th plus 7x cubed minus 11x squared plus 21x plus 5 divided by x plus 5. Okay, let's start out writing out our x plus 5 equals 0, so x is equal to negative 5. So in my little box, I'm going to put negative 5. Now I'm going to write down my coefficients. Okay, so 2, 7, negative 11, 21, 5. Alrighty. Remember, I'm adding everything together. So we're going to start by putting a 0 on the first one, and I'm going to add those together. So 2 plus 0 is 2. And then here we go. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. 7 plus negative 10 is negative 3. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Can't really see that very well. Let's change colors. Negative 11 plus 15 is positive 4. Okay, negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. 21 minus 20 is 1. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, this is my remainder, my constant, my x squared, x cubed. So, final answer. 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. If there was a remainder, we would write remainder whatever. Okay? All right. See if there's any others I want to do. Okay. Homework. Okay. In the rest of that section, we're going to do 13, 14, 17, and 20. In the next section, we're going to do number 21. We're going to do, in the next one, it says use synthetic division and the remainder theorem. So I want you to do it both ways. I want to see you do it both ways and see if you come out with the same answer. We're going to do number 27 on that section. And that is it for the regular classes. My advanced classes also need to do number 36 on the back. And 41. Alright, so let's go back over that. I don't know why I'm getting text messages, but I am. Okay, so homework for 8-5. This is due on Monday, 429. Oops. So you have 3, 5, 9, 10, 13, 14, 17, 20, 21, 27 for everybody. And then on the back, 36 and 41 for the advanced classes. Okay? Alrighty. That should do it, and I will talk to y'all on Monday. If you have problems, y'all know how to reach me. Thanks. Have a great day.